Awesome. Hey guys, it's Jen from EverRise. I'm sure most of you guys know me, but for those who don't, I'm the director of marketing at EverRise, and I'm really excited to start doing what we're going to call our Friday wrap-ups. As you know, on Tuesday's AMA, we had a pretty big announcement, which was David Gockstein coming on as operations lead. And I think Suresh said it best when we were talking about, EverRise in terms of the foundation we have built as a DeFi project is incredibly strong. And he used this metaphor where he was like, the recipe's looking good, the ingredients are like looking good and everything's meshing together, but we're still missing a few things for EverRise to really take off in terms of traction. And so that was a huge reason why we brought David on board, right? In the capacity that he's now a part of staff, he's leading our operations. And a big thing that we talked about on Tuesday was it's time to take EverRise to the next level. And when we say next level, we also mean the next level of transparency. So as you guys have seen throughout this week, we've been doing daily Twitter spaces, and a part of that we're going to start doing on Fridays are these Friday wrap-ups with me. Super fun. I did mention that you guys would be seeing me a lot more in front of camera than just hearing my voice. So I'm super excited that we're doing this and to be here. I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, my hands are kind of clammy. And I have my notebook because I definitely didn't remember all this stuff off the top of my head. But what I want to do is kind of walk you guys through everything that we've been working on this week. So one of the things that I'm really, really excited about, and that, I've talked with Ben on our dev team about, and, this was also in part thanks to David, but we do have a strategic integration coming next week that we'll be announcing. And so keep your eyes peeled for that. That should be live on February 10th at 9 a.m. Pacific. So that's noon for those who are on the Eastern time zone, and I believe 5 p.m. for UTC. I think another thing that we've also discussed quite a bit is the updated UX and UI to all of our existing dApps. Many of you guys know this has been something that has been in the pipeline that the team has been working on for, we're in February now, for at least like the past month and a half, I would say, but we're finally getting to a point where we're almost ready to push it live. I was reviewing all of the designs for desktop as well as mobile. We're really, really close. The last couple of things that we have to finish integrating are the light mode, doing some final testing to make sure nothing's breaking, fixing some wallet connect issues that we've been running into. So I anticipate that you guys will see that at some point, if not late next week, but early the week following, which is really, really exciting. Along with the UI and UX improvements, we're also improving EverSwap. So as many of you guys know, we just recently expanded the sales team in January to really start pushing adoption of our dApps across all 5 chains. And that has been super, super great and fantastic. And with that comes the release of EverSwap for other projects. We built EverSwap in a very unique way where it's able to alleviate sell pressure on charts for tokens, considering that majority of smart contracts utilize that swap and liquefy function. So currently, EverSwap is not available for other projects to onboard, but the sales team has been engaging with projects that are interested, which is really exciting. And with the EverSwap becoming available for other projects to onboard, there's also a few other integrations that I want to talk about. One of them is actually being able to utilize native coins within EverSwap, not for the native coin swap specifically, but for the actual swap. So being able to utilize USDT, BUSD. I think a couple of the other coins actually include Doge and ADA, so Cardano, if I remember correctly, from some of the mock-ups I saw. So that is also in process. We are targeting being able to onboard projects towards the end of next week, but I do want to just emphasize that this is an internal goal for us. It might be pushed back depending on how, once we get these features deployed, how the testing goes, but this is definitely a priority for the development team to release before end of month and to make available to other projects. In addition, so I don't know how many of you guys attended the Twitter spaces that we had right before this, but if you were looking on Twitter, I believe TJ dropped a very, very interesting graphic that might have a new icon that none of you guys recognized. So we've been talking about NFTs a lot. We have migration NFTs that we still need to get out to the community. We also have the staking NFTs that we need to get out to the community. And, when we originally were going to release this, it was just going to be NFTs that were a commemorative thing. But the dev team, being as incredible and as talented as they are, wanted to take it a step further. So they're working on making these NFTs bridgeable. Considering everything else that is currently happening in development, reality for you guys seeing migration NFTs and staking NFTs will be closer towards the end of the month, potentially March. However, considering how much you guys have brought up NFTs within the spaces we've done, we've been looking around and we've been doing some research. And really for EverRise, what we're here to do is build security infrastructure for all of DeFi. And we noticed that there were some security things within the NFT space that we feel like we can address. So I'm not going to tell you guys what the DApp is. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I want to tease y'all a little bit. But we do have a DApp in development that is going to be a tool that we'll be looking to share with Looks, OpenSea, a bunch of other NFT platforms to see if they're interested in integrating it. And that's about all I can tell you on that note. From a marketing perspective, so I mentioned this a little bit on Tuesday. My marketing vision for EverRise is to make EverRise the first point of contact for anyone who isn't already in the crypto space. I've said it before, and I've been asked this question a lot, like, what are the biggest barriers that we're seeing with the EverRise project, right? And just in DeFi in general. And I think a lot of that has to do with education. I think to truly understand the value and the power of our ecosystem, people need to have a basic education and grasp and understanding of what's currently happening in DeFi. So one of the things that I'll be working on, and you guys should start seeing the fruits of that within the next 2 weeks, is we're actually going to start doing educational YouTube videos that aren't only the types of educational videos you've seen from us already, where, Jason did a fantastic job putting together for what are smart contracts, I believe was the first blog that we put out, which was like a 2 to 3 minute recap with a voiceover and text flying across it. I think those videos are great for those who are just looking at, watching something very quick and getting a grasp of what the concept is. But the types of videos we're going to be doing moving forward, in addition to that, will be really us breaking down DeFi and diving in a little bit more deep. And so I am very excited for that. I'm a little nervous. Like I said, I'm not usually in front of the camera. So that will be really, really interesting. I'm excited to see what feedback you guys have from these videos. These are videos that I'm hoping you'll be able to share with friends and family members who have been hounding you about crypto and DeFi, but they still don't totally get it. Like, that is the type of educational content that I want to put out there. And in addition to supporting that, we're actually starting a couple of Facebook groups. There's going to be 2 Facebook groups that will go live next week. One of them will be an EverRise official community group. So very similar to the community we've already built on Telegram, Discord. It'll just live on Facebook as well. But the second one's actually going to be a DeFi for beginners group, where we're going to be posting a lot of this educational content. This is a group that I probably will personally be inviting quite a few of the folks in my life to, so they can learn a little bit more and I'm not having to repeat myself over and over again. And they can actually engage with other people where they'll learn about DeFi in a way that's very meaningful. And so once we come out with this group, I hope that's something that you would want to share with your family as well. It's really, the idea there is to create and build a resource for everyone. In addition to the education component, right? So we'll have blog posts still coming out. We'll have the videos that are still coming out, but we're going to really be ramping up the graphics on all of our socials. So carousel posts breaking down like, what is a bridge? Carousel posts breaking down what are our dApps in a very simple way that's very easy to understand. I think EverRise is such a vast DeFi project that sometimes it's hard to break it down in a few sentences, right? And really for me, what it's come down to is like, DeFi is a rapidly growing space that has no security infrastructure. EverRise is building multi-chain security infrastructure, and we're doing this to increase mass adoption of DeFi overall. When we think about the normal people in our lives, who we might have talked to crypto about, at least for me, sometimes I'll bring up crypto and they'll be like, oh yeah, but isn't that just like these dog coins? Or what about this Squid Game token that just recently like scammed people out of a ton of money? Like their general perception of DeFi and cryptos that these are very high risk investments. And listen, they're not wrong, right? There's a lot of things that tend to happen within this space, and it's very easy to lose your money, whether that's in terms of a bad investment or God forbid you accidentally wallet connect into an unsafe source. There's like all these little details and nuances that I find if there's not someone hand-holding your way through it, it's really easy for you to fall into those traps. When I was actually investing in some crypto with my mom, like back in 2014, 2015. And I remember, I think it was a little bit before the crash we saw in 2016, she had accidentally gotten an email. Well, she didn't accidentally get this email. She got it very intentionally, but she accidentally clicked on it thinking it was from Binance. And the next thing you know, a significant amount of money was stolen from my mom, and that completely turned her off from crypto. It also turned me off from crypto at the time. And these issues still plague the space today. But if we can get folks in the door and educate them and show them how to navigate this, like what to look for if something pops up and it looks like it's from MetaMask and it's asking you for your seed phrase, like, generally at a first glance, you'd be like, oh, let me put my seed phrase in. But as we know, a couple months ago, hackers were able to hack into the MetaMask browser extension and get this pop-up to show up. And that's not something that's easy to identify, especially if you're new in the space. So we're going to be looking at putting out content out there that not only breaks down blockchain technology, but is also navigating you guys through, like double checking URLs, best practices for just protecting your wallet and protecting your investments. And I really do think with that, like, I don't really see very many other DeFi protocols doing that. But like this type of marketing is marketing that's going to end up creating, like, I don't want to call it loyalty, but it's long-term loyalty, because not only is EverRise providing the utility of, security products that can help protect investments or help secure projects, but we're also now just providing general education. We want as many people out there who are interested in getting into this space to come into this space. And I selfishly would like EverRise to be their first point of contact for that. So that's something that we'll be working on this month. And we've already started making significant progress and headway on that type of strategy. As you guys know, yesterday we had DeFi talks with Gala Games. The week before we had DeFi talks with Axie Infinity. This is something that we're going to try to move over into a weekly cadence. It really depends on the scheduling. At this point, we've had Polygon, Kronos, which is crypto.com's mainnet on there, and massive DeFi protocols. And we don't want to change the bar for that at all. And so we've reached out to several partners to keep filling the scheduling for February as well as March. And so keep looking forward to that. Keep blocking out that 7 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays if you want to come join us as we talk to some of these really incredible protocols about DeFi in general. And I have two more things, and then I'll let you guys go. After this little live here that we're doing, I will be pushing the winning community design when we first release swag into the swag store. We're raising money for Cystic Fibrosis Australia, and just a nice little push around that. And then the second thing that I just wanted to remind you guys is for the month of February, we do have that EverSwap promotion where the buy tax on Phantom as well as Avalanche is 4.5%. And the buy tax on the other chains, if you use EverSwap, is 4%. So you can kind of get a little bit more rise, a little bit of a bigger bang for your buck for the month of February. And so we just want to keep doing that, guys. That's all I have for you this Friday. I will have more for you next Friday. And cheers to next level transparency. Thanks for tuning in.